Welcome to Who Hit You Podcast. I'm that motherfucker.
That's right. That's right. Y'all know his name. Say it. Say it. Say it.
Come on.
Welcome to Who Hit You Podcast. I'm Roy.
I'm Vidush.
What up? So, Oregon made history this week.
Yeah, let's go get some fucking Molly, bro. Let's go get some fucking Molly.
Oregon decriminalizes all drugs.
Yeah, apparently that does not mean we can go get Molly.
It does not mean that we can just go do all the things. What it means is if you're caught with any kind of drug, instead of being arrested, going to jail, fucking up your life
Forever.
You get caught with heroin, it's like you pay $100 fine or you do some kind of like health assessment. And then you go through, like, now it's like it's looked at as a mental health issue and not a criminal issue.
So it's like they're going to rehab you up instead. Drug classes,
Yeah.
all the same stuff they do when you're on probation and stuff, instead minus the jail sentence, which is awesome.
I mean, I think this is it's a historical event, like
For America.
for America. I mean,
For America.
I'm sure at some point back in the fucking day, there wasn't these arbitrary rules of like you're not allowed to do this and you're not allowed to do that.
That's
So like
true.
it's not like America's never had these rules.
That's true.
But I think it's ridiculous that a person can have their life ruined, go to jail, because they decide to put something in their body. If they decide
That's
to...
a fair way to say it. That's crazy. That is crazy.
If they decide to put something in their body, that is their fucking choice. If it ruins their life because they become a coke fiend, they're on heroin, they're on crack, they're doing all that thing, then that's something I think that the government should have, like, the proper social, like, health, like, to...
But it's not a prison sentence.
But it's not a prison sentence, and I think that, in general, who the fuck is the government to say that, like, I can't smoke weed,
That's
I
the
can't
craziest
do
part.
heroin, I
Because
can't do anything.
we know how those guys act.
Yeah, they're all doing the same fucking shit.
We know how those guys act.
Yeah. So, I
Just
just...
because they get it prescribed, it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah.
How did you know why how did the opiate crisis start?
Yeah, what's the fucking difference between people all
That was all prescribed. That was all
addicted to
prescribed.
fucking pills
Yeah.
and people doing anything else?
There's no difference. You're right.
I have a very hard line. I think that the government has much like equal to like the free speech where like you can't tell me, you can't take me off a platform and you can't I have a hard line on free speech. I have a hard line on this was like you can't tell me what I can do with my body. In general, nobody can. Like you can't tell anybody what to do with their body. And I think that if anybody wants to put anything into their body, that's their call.
Yeah.
And it's not just because you say any drug is wrong or bad, like who the fuck are you?
Right.
Do I think a person should be doing heroin and crack? No, probably not. It's probably not a good look.
Right.
You're probably not going to get far in life if you're just doing drugs all fucking day. But that's also your call and your choice. Do I think it's a mental health problem where like you need some help?
Right. To make you a better, more productive member of society, you actually need help. Because you went to these drugs for a reason.
Yeah. Something's going on.
Right.
And I think that we've had these laws in place for a while now.
Dude, we did misinformation. Bro, the DARE program worked on me.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, like the fucking DARE program, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to turn my brain to scrambled eggs.
That crime dog, what is this, McGruff or...
Oh my God, dude, they just lie. They
Yeah.
would just openly lie.
War on drugs, man.
It was... You could have told me that they weren't a good idea without making me think that I'm gonna kill my mom when I'm high.
But the reality is like you've had
I'm gonna put this. Yeah, you remember that commercial? He like puts the shotgun in his. Oh, I'm high. like where Chappelle makes fun. But that was a real commercial where the kid shoots himself. You don't do
I
that.
remember that. I remember that.
You
Like,
don't do that.
I remember that. Like, this is your brain on drugs, and it's like all that's real crazy. Like, it's an egg, and they're like smashing shit, and it's like all kinds of crazy.
It's like, hey, is caffeine a drug?
Yeah.
Hey, is Tylenol a drug? Hey, is alcohol a drug?
Yeah.
Like, do you know how crazy Americans went when they said no more alcohol?
Prohibition.
NASCAR,
baby.
Like, where that's true.
Yeah. So I think that this is a historical moment. It's big. It's Oregon was the first state back in the day to actually go full legalization.
I wonder
on
what's
weed.
different out there that they just do stuff different.
The weather.
Really?
The environment. They got it nice. I don't know.
They do stuff different because we could say this, but they also let that dude take that building over there, right? Was that in Oregon?
Oh, in Portland, whatever, or Seattle, was it Chaz?
No, there's that, but there was also the country family went and took over a government building before that.
There's actually a lot of like conservative people out there also,
right?
Because there's like those people. There's also a lot of like
I forget what family
like
that was.
fascist, neo-Nazi like type of like ideology out there also for some reason.
It's just an acceptance.
You think West Coast and people are like, oh, liberals, but like there's all kinds of shit out there too.
Yeah, liberal is basically a city term.
Yeah,
it's a city term.
There's like 2 or 3. Like I just googled country family taking over government building. There's like 2 that popped up. The Bundy brothers.
Yeah,
that's
Bundy's,
the one.
Okay, there's also one of the occupation of
Al Bundy out
National
there.
Wildlife Refuge.
That was actually the bigger one.
Yeah, so
refuge. The Bundys were, I think, involved in that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
they just like occupy the land and they're like, we're not going anywhere.
Fucking Ted Bundy's kids. No, it's
Ted Bundy, Al Bundy. It's all the same family.
Al Bundy is like, four
touchdowns,
baby. No, yeah. So I mean, that's a big thing. I did not think that it would like this way is obviously better. I was thinking like, oh, they got all the drugs there. Like that's not how it works. The second I heard it was this way, I was like,
party.
That's what it means when they're like, oh, everything's legal. No, not everything's not legal.
It's not legal.
You don't get your life
decriminalized,
destroyed when you make this mistake. Instead, they say, hey, you can still be a good person, better person in society. You can still help us. You're just having a tough time.
Yeah, so like Texas just decriminalized marijuana to a certain level.
Medical level.
Yeah, and so like you can get like I forget what it is, like up to X many ounces on you or something.
Yeah.
Basically like personal carry.
They did not really decriminalize it. You want to jump in? What they did was they said hemp was legal and it's very expensive to test between hemp.
But they also changed the laws like if you get caught with this much, they've changed like what puts you in jail. And yeah.
Ooh.
Like it's something like it's like a Class C misdemeanor now or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's something that like is super important to touch on is all of these laws do not make it legal unless you're talking about marijuana in certain states. Like yes, it is.
Yeah, but heroin's not fucking legal. Coke's not legal.
It's not legal. But
none of these are legal. Yeah.
Right. What I was gonna say about.
But didn't they just legalize like mushrooms or psilocybin or something like that?
Psilocybin, not mushrooms, and for medical use only.
Yeah, that's like a microdosing, different type of.
For PTSD, it's done wonders.
Right.
So
also mentally handicapped people have a great time on that.
So what I was going to say about Portland, a lot of the things that or Oregon in general, they attribute to, and more so Oregon's like history is that the white people went to Oregon to claim Oregon.
That Oregon Trail.
Well, yeah.
Dysentery.
So white people claimed Oregon very early on in westward expansion and did not allow black people in Oregon. Oh. It was a white supremacist state.
Yeah, it was like super conservative, yeah.
Super. I didn't know that.
So Western Oregon is still very much in that mindset.
Okay.
But Eastern Oregon is where you have like Portland and all of the more progressive places.
The West, they got all the water.
Right.
They got the whole shoreline.
Right. So in Western Oregon, a lot of the reason why and that's of course where like policies made, that's where government officials are more like, that's where their capital is and all that. But most people attribute Oregon to being so progressive and being at the forefront of all this is because they do a lot of scientific research and they're not very religious as a state. Yeah.
Whoa, both of those answers are crazy because scientific research would just kind of show you what you should do instead of having your predisposed opinion. I had no idea that they didn't allow black people there.
I think this is a giant, this is, like I said, it's a historical event. First state in my lifetime that has decriminalized all forms, or like all drugs.
Right.
What does this mean? I mean, they were the first state to legalize marijuana, and now like half the country essentially is like legalized marijuana, or marijuana is decriminalized in a lot of states now. They're the first ones to like go full like legalization.
Legal, right? Because you know what I found out is that they decriminalized weed a long time ago. Actually,
Yeah,
like long time ago.
Yeah.
So one of the things that they're doing with the decriminalization is they're going to have a lot of addiction recovery centers that apparently are going to be funded by the millions of tax dollars specifically from Oregon's legalized marijuana industry.
yeah. So it's awesome.
So they're just like putting it all back into the community.
Like, man, you hear Colorado takes half of the tax money from weed to build on school systems, and it's crushing it. Like,
Yeah.
like this idea is great. Like, honestly, like, where is the fucking alcohol tax that the government should be making a ton of money and helping the American people
These
with?
private companies,
Because alcohol is the worst drug. There's no doubt about it. You will act the worst on alcohol, man. It
Think
is,
so?
Well,
man. Drunk driving cases.
the
Like,
difference is that the alcohol industry was very well established, and so they lobby very hard, and so then that's why you have low taxes. You make it very easy to buy it. There's like, pot is very expensive in places where it's legal. It's very expensive because it's heavily taxed.
only if you're used to not buying it on the black market.
Sure.
Okay, it's way cheaper than it used to be.
Well, and it's cheaper than it used
And
to
safer. Now I know nothing's in it.
be. Exactly. I mean that's a big
good
part
shit.
of it. But like you can't like buy like a dime bag doesn't really exist in a retail space
Very
with
true.
weed. You know
Very
what
true.
I mean? And so
Yeah, you get the good shit.
right.
Well,
but
I guess,
it's
you
heavily
you can buy a
taxed.
$5 joint, though.
You can, yeah.
Right.
I mean, you can. There are ways to do it, but that's what I'm saying is like they do tax weed very heavily, but they have
should.
shown that does not. It's not a deterrent.
That
at all.
doesn't deter us, and that tax helps us. Like, I'm more than happy paying that tax.
So here's my thought on this. What this will lead to, what I hope it leads to. I hope, and I understand this isn't going to happen anytime soon, but I hope this eventually leads to full legalization of all drugs.
Yeah.
I think full legalization of all drugs.
I think that's
Is
in
the-
our future at some point in time. I don't know how close.
I think that's the right move. But I
Who
also
did this? Netherlands have already done this, right?
I'm not sure.
Because they're the Silk Road. Everything comes from there now. But the thing is, then the drugs are fucking safe.
Yeah, I mean, if it's legal, then it's like if I
people
want to go.
die from having stepped on Molly and has stepped on heroin and all of these things. People die from that.
I think that like it would be amazing if it's like I'm going to go to my local weed store, buy some CBD, buy some gummies, buy some joints, whatever I want to
That's
smoke.
the other big thing. You're right. The gummies you're talking about, like edibles for old people, sick people, and people who don't want to smoke, like who have problems, they have been helping them greatly. Like Asperger's, weed is a cure.
I think it would be. I think it would be amazing if like you can also. I'm going through some shit, and then I go to a professional psilocybin doctor to go through some treatment. I think it'd be crazy if it's like I want to do DMT, and like I go to this place and there's like this
do it safely.
like there's this medical doctor that's gonna like be there in case and help me through this whole experience. Mushrooms.
Changing the world.
So it's the Netherlands, Portugal, and Switzerland, among a couple of other countries.
In Switzerland, it's like one of the best places to live in the world.
So they've completely decriminalized personal possession and use. The only thing that's still illegal is the sale of it. So like if you're a distributor, if you have more than X amount, then you are considered
Right, because now you're.
I get that.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm fine. I'm cool with that.
I'm
fine
totally
with
cool with these
shouldn't be selling-
stipulations,
right.
right? Like,
But yeah, and then of course these are places where drug use is almost non-existent, and if it is, it's very safe. People don't die from it.
No, it's not
nearly
a.
as much.
It's not the crazy thing then.
There are also places in the United States. There are some states, I don't know which ones off the top of my head, that have safe injection spaces. So if you are a drug addict and you are, doing some sort of IV injection,
No,
needle
they
drug,
have
there are people there that can help you do it safely.
This is like a methadone downplay treatment. Yeah.
There's
a big one in Kerrville.
Really.
Really?
Yeah. It's actually the
Makes
most
sense.
famous one in the world.
I would do
That's
that.
where like Demi Lovato, all the actors go there because to come down.
So one of the big things that like a lot of the people of this mindset are pushing, at least for now in the interim, because decriminalization of all drugs is going to be very, very hard and
It's gonna take time.
Exactly.
It's gonna take a long time.
Is making test kits available to everyone so that you can test things rapidly
and you
that
can see
way
what's in it
immediately
exactly.
that there's more fentanyl here than you
I
think.
think
You know what's crazy? It's like
see, that's another like fentanyl. That's and pills and all these drugs and taking things that you're told is it's fine, and then you end up overdosing. Like all this situation, people that are like having all these mental issues that are do drugs. Like we've had all these laws in place for years, and people are still doing heroin. Like the war on drug hasn't stopped. It's just a front to like we're making money doing this. We're making money controlling countries in South America and like their distribution and like wars in South. Like it's all kinds of fucking bullshit.
I mean, do you know how they first picked that weed was illegal? It's such a terrible story. A paper company realized that hemp was cheaper to make paper, make cloth, do all these things. So they had the bigger corporation at the time. So they just did a smear campaign on weed, and in all the worst ways you could do. Because at that time it was plantation level. They were saying they were spreading propaganda that if you let your wife touch hemp, she will sleep with your slaves. That was real propaganda. Like, that's so fucked up. Like, so this stuff has been legal all the time. It's always been about money. Like, it's just, I don't know what you're thinking.
I'm thinking, like, you think one of the scariest things for a black man is a white woman that, like, makes a crazy claim about anything.
Duh! False accusations, man. That's the scariest thing. A white woman is so scary for a dude.
Yeah. It's like, hey, can I help you there? He's trying to steal my bag.
Man, and we see it all the time. I wonder how many people got fucked like that before.
So many people.
So many people. Karen City is not new.
This is fairly off topic, but there is actually, and I'm really gonna feel like an asshole for forgetting the name, but there was a really big case. I don't know if you both have seen Lovecraft Country, but there's an homage to this situation. But a woman in an elevator said that a young man who was 14 grabbed her or whatever, and then
he got put in life for prison.
No.
They killed him?
They lynched him so bad, and they lynched him so bad. The mother decided to actually have an open casket to show people how bad
I do remember this.
was.
Yeah.
And so,
what do these Karens think after?
Emmett Till.
Emmett Till. It was a long time ago. It was during the 50s.
55.
Yeah. So they lynched him. A bunch of people lynched him. He was absolutely destroyed, and they had an open casket, and it actually sparked a lot of conversation about it. Then years later, that woman came forward.
Yeah, I remember then she was like, "Oh, I did."
She
Yeah.
died. Mm-hmm.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, 14
Kill yourself, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see.
I got no sympathy for that.
I think
none.
I think this move with Oregon.
This is the great move.
It's a big push in the right direction.
Do it right, Oregon. Do it right, and show the world how it's supposed to be, or show America how it's supposed to be done.
The future.
It's a good move. Tell us what you think. We're interested. If you do not like it, I want to hear about it.
Come on.